Here we go. Who's going to be playing in the Big Bash final? Pollard's beaten. The Strikers. Laughlin is the hero.
You won't see many better. High-scoring game, great skills on display, great ground, great crowd. The atmosphere and energy at the end of the game was amazing. And on one hand, you feel sorry for Cameron White. That final eludes him, but on the other hand, you feel really happy for Ben Laughlin, who's got himself into his first Big Bash final and was the one to stand up and bowl the last over. So, yeah, terrific game of cricket.
You do a lot of the planning and the strategy. How much can you plan for a scenario like that final over where the game's on the line, you've got your best bowler against probably their best hitter? Is it just have to wait and see how it plays out?
Well, it's not so much just the last over. You're sort of planning for that last over for 3 or 4 overs before that. They had the chance to bowl Michael Nisa or Ben Laughlin the second last over, and they went to Nisa, who's actually done a reasonable job in another couple of games closing out the last over. He bowled a really good second last over, then you're left with Laughlin to bowl the last one. And look, he's their most experienced bowler. He's cut his teeth bowling at the death and through the middle overs in Big Bash cricket for 6 or 7 years now. So no surprise to see him take that last over. But you had Tom Cooper and Kieron Pollard out there at the crease. Cooper was set and looked really good and has had a great tournament to date. And then you've got Kieron Pollard, who's probably the strongest and hardest hitter of a cricket ball in the world. And when he comes off, they can chase any sort of score. So you just got to congratulate Ben Laughlin on being able to execute it well. And Travis Head for planning out the last 3 or 4 overs the way he did. He's a young captain. He's a terrific young player. He led from the front tonight with his runs and with his 4 overs. He was courageous enough to bowl himself for his 4 overs tonight. And well done on the Strikers for making it through to the final.
And we saw Travis talking to Ben a couple of times during the course of that last over. How much sort of advice can he give, or was it just sort of saying bowler's best ball?
Look, I'm not exactly sure what he said, but you'd like to think it'd be along those lines about having a really clear plan on what you want to actually bowl there and then. The last thing you want a bowler to be is confused on what ball he should bowl halfway in his run-up and then second-guess himself and not be able to execute. So, as I said, Laughlin's an experienced player. He would have known where he had to bowl and what he had to bowl to both Cooper and Pollard in that last over, and thankfully for him, he executed quite well. Although, I'm not sure the last ball he bowled would have been the one that he had in mind at the top of his mark. That was a good length and could have easily gone over mid-wicket, but well done to Laughlin.
Laughlin is the hero!
It was a length ball.
The Strikers are into the final against the Hurricanes. Benny Laughlin, take a bow!
And you were recently involved with the IPL, like the player auction. Is this the sort of stuff you think about when you're putting a list together as someone who can be able to bowl that over in that situation?
Absolutely, yeah, and guys that can finish games as well. You look at Kieron Pollard, and that's what he's there for. He's there to finish out games. He didn't do that for his team tonight, whereas as Ben Laughlin did. So absolutely, you do think of all different sorts of scenarios and guys you want in certain positions and what phases of the game or a certain innings you think they're going to be most valuable in. So yeah, there's a lot of strategy that goes into it, but at the end of the day, unless your captain and your players can think clearly enough and think their way through situations, it doesn't really matter.